Well. Yes, I did it again. I asked for your opinion and then proceeded to do whatever I thought was best anyway. But I think you're gonna like this one. My name is Spartacus, and today I'm bringing you the ultimate showdown for the title of King of Og. The new Paleo Giga was recently added and is hyped by everyone to be the Giga we all deserve. But is it really that way? We're here to find out. Originally, I didn't want to have the OG Giga and the Carchar in the same versus video once again, but since that was my first proper YouTube video, I made some mistakes in it, so I decided to correct them. Plus, it didn't feel right to let either of them out of this comparison. So here we are. We're keeping the same format from the last video, with the same scoring system, since once again we have 3 contestants. I'm not gonna lie, making this video has been an absolute pain in the ass. With all the testing I had to do and all the variables I had to take into consideration, plus the Evo Giga recently got a patch, so I had to modify the script and retest some things. So if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. Let's start off with creature design. First, the newest kid on the block, the Paleo Giga or Evolved Giga. The model is nice, pretty standard for a big ass theropod. I like the fact that it comes with different colors. I like the horns above the glowing eyes, though the head is smaller than the OG Giga. Also, the legs look sturdier to me, and combined with the way the dino moves, it seems like this is a heavyweight that knows how to throw its body around. The best part of the new model are the animations, which are amazing, especially the tail sweep one. Regarding the roar, I'd say it's solid, though I would have preferred it a little bit longer, or with some echo at the end, but it gets some extra points for being able to use it while walking. Next we have the OG Giga. There are a few things that I never understood with the Giga. First, what the hell is with this hunch on its back? Second, why the hell do they only come in this ugly ass grey color? At least it got fixed with the R variants. And third, the Giga has the mobility of a fucking fridge. Seriously, this guy is unable to flex. Imagine having such a strong tail and not being able to use it offensively. It does still look pretty terrifying, and its walking sound and roar are still unmatched by today's opposition. And lastly we have the Carchar. Personally, I love the model of this dino, with its awesome color patterns and all these spikes. Out of these 3, this one feels the most agile, but also the least imposing, thanks to its smaller frame. I love the attack animations, especially the spin attack, but I have to say the sounds of this dino are a bit lacking. Both the walking sound and the roar are not as impressive as the other 2. In the end, even though it has my favorite roar in the game, the Giga gets 0 points. The Carchar 1 thanks to its looks, and the Evo Giga 2 points for having the best all-round design. Next we have ease of tame. This is a hard one, since all 3 have different taming methods, and all are hard. First, the OG Giga. This is the only good old knockout tame in today's video. The Giga is known for having a huge torpor bar, and for losing torpidity at an incredible speed. A metal gate trap and 225 shocking tranq darts from a normal rifle are required to tame this boy at max level. That's crazy expensive, but at least it's not that complicated. The Carchar has a much more interactive taming method. First, you have to befriend it by hand feeding it carcasses. Then you have 10 minutes to ride it and kill as many creatures as possible in an attempt to fill its taming bar. Received damage will of course reduce the taming effectiveness. That's pretty hard and extremely dangerous. So in order to tame a max level one, you need to come prepared with some high drag weight babies to sacrifice in your quest to tame this killing machine. Brontos are probably the best for this. Just unclaim them before befriending your desired Carchar and then slaughter them all. This taming process is especially time consuming. And last we have the Evolved Giga. In order to tame this guy, you need to challenge him to a duel by having a freaking Giga Heart in your inventory. That is insane. In case you didn't know, getting a Giga Heart is very hard. But then, after the Evolved Giga takes the heart from you, the fun part starts. You have to knock this thing out by letting it bite on your dinos, knocking itself out in the process. I've seen people trying to use wild creatures as punching bags for the Giga, but for high level ones, I don't think this will work at all. So basically, you have to bring some high health creatures with very good saddles to tank the damage. The main problem is the bleed damage. To counter this, you will need to feed your dinos wyvern milk. This will nullify any bleed effect. My recommendation is to bring some high health stegos, since they already have some damage reduction and their saddles are pretty easy to craft. By far the new Evo Giga is the hardest to tame, so it gets 0 points. The Carchar gets 1 and the Giga gets 2, thanks to the simplicity of its taming method. Up next is speed. First we have the OG Giga. We all know this guy is not known for its speed or stamina, and the results show this. It managed 11.2 seconds with 84 points of stamina left. The Carchar has advantages in both stamina and movement speed, and finishes the test in 8.5 seconds with 212 stamina left. But if we apply the Killing Frenzy buff right at the beginning, the Carchar finishes the test in 5.2 seconds with 329 stamina left. Now, the new Evo Giga gains momentum while running, but doesn't quite feel like the Androsarchus, for example. And I think that's because when you press down the sprint button, there's no immediate difference between walking and sprinting. It finishes the test in 15 seconds, with no stamina left. I would have shown you the result when entering the test at full speed, but the base stamina of this thing doesn't allow me to do that. However, it's worthy to note here that unlike the other two, leveling up the stamina of your evolved Giga actually has a decent effect. Higher level ones can have around 1200 stamina right after you tame them, while the OG Gigas and Carchars are stuck around 400-500. Especially compared to the OG Gigas, the Evo Giga can go twice as far at higher levels before it depletes stamina. The Carchar is the most mobile, especially when the Killing Frenzy buff is active, so it gets 2 points. The Evo Giga gets 1 solely thanks to its upgradable stamina, and the Giga gets none. Next we have Tankiness. Things are once again getting very messy. Just like the Giga and the Carchar, the evolved Giga loses a big chunk of HP post-taming. But unlike those two who end up with 17,000 and 16,000 health, our boy ends up with 2,500 health at level 1. But if we spawn in some high level dinos, we can see that the Evo Giga has caught up with the Carchar and Giga in terms of HP. In this example we have an Evo Giga and a Giga with exactly the same wild points into health. And the Evo Giga is ahead by 2000 health points. Why is that? Well, because unlike the Giga and the Carchar, leveling up the health of this creature actually makes a difference. Speaking of imprinting, this works different as well. While base level Gigas usually get around 16,000 extra HP and the Carchar around 14,000, the Evo Giga gets 4,000. That's pretty rough if you ask me. If we take another look at our previous example, with 100% imprint, the Giga has 34.7k health, while the Evo Giga has only 25.1k health. But check out what happens after we pump 10 more levels in health for both of them. The evolved Giga is once again in front. That means that in terms of tankiness, the Evo Giga can outperform the other two by a fair amount. That also means that unlike the other two, you will care about the evolved Giga's points into health and stamina when you tame one, not just the melee. The last thing we need to talk about here is healing. The Carchar possesses the Blood Rage buff, which grants him a heal for up to 175 HP per second, as long as your food bar is not depleted. The Killing Frenzy buff also grants him stun immunity. The new Evo Giga, on the other hand, has a rage mechanic similar to the Giga. One of the effects of this rage mechanic is a 50 HP per second heal for the duration of the rage boost. Well, there was a lot to talk about here, but in the end, I think everyone has some good advantages, so I'm going to give each one a point for tankiness. Next, we have damage. This is what the original Giga is known for. A level 1 tame Giga deals 96 DPS thanks to its amazing attack speed. The rage mechanic also helps the Giga. The more damage the Giga takes in a certain amount of time, the more infuriated it becomes, dealing increased damage. This reaches its maximum potential once the Giga rages, doubling its damage. In practice, you might get a 20-25% damage boost, as not everything can enrage a Giga. For the evolved Giga, this is where the patch came in clutch. Prior to the patch, it was by far the worst of the three, thanks to its attack animation which reduced its attack speed. It only managed 48 DPS, half of what a normal Giga does. The tail attack was even worse, dealing 25 DPS. But that one was not as bad, since it allowed the Evo Giga to attack targets at its back. But considering you already had to spend points into health to catch up to the other two, the Evo Giga was garbage when it came to damage. Now, post-patch, both the base attack and the attack speed of the Giga were increased. The bite attack now does a whopping 104 DPS, while the tail sweep gets about 39 DPS. I don't know if this was present before the patches, but this tail attack has an insane knockback, even better than the Carchar. Its secondary attack, the Stomp, is only available once raged, and it consists of 2 high damage stomps with good AoE, dealing 50% more damage than the bite. But wait, there's more! With each attack on a target, the Evolved Giga deals more damage, and from my testing, it seems that it's based on the percentage of health left on the target and is capped at around 20% bonus damage when the target is almost dead. And speaking of the Stomp, I don't know if this is intended to work like this, but even at level 1, the Evo Giga deals 600 damage with each Stomp when it sprints over dinos, 5 times more than the Giga. That leaves us with the Carchar and its Blood Rage mechanic. This guy also has a secondary attack, but that fits better in our next category. A level 1 tamed Carchar deals 51 DPS with its main bite. The Blood Rage buff gives you up to an extra 175% damage when the Blood Rage meter is completely filled. This basically puts the Carchar on par with a Giga with a rage meter around 50%. With that being said, the Giga comes with that damage without prior preparation, so it gets 1 point. The Carchar 0, and the Evo Giga post-patch 2 points. And of course, once I started editing this video, a new patch just dropped, and it seems they're nerfing the damage of the Evo Giga a bit, probably bringing him a bit closer to the normal Giga. Next we have special abilities. First we have the Evo Giga. Its abilities are the gradually increase in biting damage and the rage mechanic. The rage is activated by the same principles as the regular Giga rage, but much easier. Once raged, the Giga will slam the ground and let out a roar. In this mode you get access to the health regen and the stomp attack. Pre-patch, this mechanic was actually bad, because the rage animation of the Evo Giga would just give the opposition free shots, similar to how the Rex roars before actually starting to fight. Now, the Giga is invulnerable while it enters rage mode. Plus, after the recent patch, if you dismount the Giga while it's in rage mode, you will be able to mount back. But if there are more than 2 Gigas in an area, doesn't matter if they're evolved or not, you will get dismounted and your evolved Gigas will start killing everything in sight, including you. We also have a crouch ability for this guy, which basically allows it to access some caves. The OG Giga also has the rage mechanic, but it's much more extreme. Basically, the Giga gains rage based on the total damage it takes over a short period of time. The rage meter also increases the damage output of the Giga, doubling it when fully raged. Once the Giga rages, you will be dismounted and the Giga will start attacking everything in sight, friend and foe. And the last one is the Carchar. We already talked about the Blood Rage buff, with its damage boost and healing, and the Killer Instinct buff, which greatly improves the Carchar speed and turning radius for a short duration. With its bite, the Carchar also applies the Shredded debuff, which reduces the healing of all affected creatures. With its secondary attack, the Carchar uses its tail in a spin attack to push foes away, allowing it to make the most of its healing. And its last ability is its Roar, which increases the movement speed of all friendly creatures affected by it, for up to 55 seconds at 100 stacks. Once used, the stacks will be consumed and the Blood Rage meter reset. Quite a lot of abilities if you ask me, and prior to the Evo Giga patch, the Carchar would have gotten 2 points. But thanks to how the new rage works for the Evo Giga, I'll call this a tie between them. The OG Giga though gets 0 points. And our last category is utility, starting with the OG Giga. Its main use is as the backbone of PvP armies, thanks to its insane damage. In PvE though, its uses are limited to OSD's fights, the bosses of Extinction, the world bosses on Fjordur, and other things like the Titanosaur or Deathworms. The Carchar is also very good for OSDs, the world bosses on Fjordur, and for taking down high health targets like the Titanosaur. The Carchar is actually a decent mount as well, thanks to its heal and mobility, and is also the best official dino to clear the tech cave with, as I showed you in a previous video. In PvP, it's great as a battle mount, and can be used to raid other tribes even without fully taming it. The Evo Giga is somewhere between the two. It's not suitable for armies, but if you bring only 2, they'll do just fine. That crouching ability allows them to access the tech cave, and they might be even better than the Carchar for this, because Evolved Gigas are actually allowed in boss arenas. Obviously, you cannot bring 20 at a time, but you might be able to bring 2 of them and fill the rest of the slots with small, high damage dinos, like the Deinonychus. And just like the others, they're good for OSDs, world bosses, etc. Once again, I have to split the points equally, thanks to the Giga's effectiveness in PvP, the Carchar proficiency as a battle mount, and the Evolved Giga's ability to enter boss arenas. 1 point for each. Final score, Evolved Giga 8, OG Giga 5, Carchar 7. The Evo Giga is the victor, though prior to the patch this was not the case. In my opinion, it should have won. And it should be better than the other 2, because you're limited to only using 2 at a time. But remember, the fact that it won today doesn't make the Evo Giga better than the other 2 in all aspects. Anyways, this was one hell of a contest. So guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more videos like this one. And tell me in the comments, what would you like to see in a possible Ark Survival Ascended Giga TLC? Until next time, Spartacus out.